Dr. Vanita Rattan, and this channel is dedicated to skincare for skin of color. So I'm a doctor, but I'm also a cosmetic formulator. And so I basically am able to look at ingredients and tell you what percentages you should be putting on your skin, which ones are good for skin of color, and which ones we should avoid. And unfortunately, the majority of what's available on the market has been designed in the West for Caucasian skin. So I actually did a whole series on a skin for India, for example. And I thought that because it's in India, you know, everything would be great for Indian skin. But actually what's happening is the science is being brought over from the West and just sort of being dumped in countries which have skin of color. And actually with skin of color, we have to be very careful because we can't do what Caucasians can do. You know, one bite, one scratch, one burn, and we hyperpigment. Whereas with Caucasian skin, they can literally burn the full top layer of their skin off and the skin will grow back perfectly. We have to have much higher standards when it comes to our skincare. We have to be a lot more knowledgeable. We have to educate ourselves. And really that's what this channel is all about. This channel is about empowering you, giving you the information to know what's good for your skin. When you go out and you spend your hard-earned money on skincare, you want to know that those things were made for you. So if that sounds good to you, let's dive right into La Roche Posay's sunscreen range. Okay, so I've been asked to do the whole La Roche Posay sunscreen range for a while now, and I probably wouldn't make a whole video based on one brand skincare line, but there are just so many, and there are so many videos reviewing them, and actually a lot of people recommending them, that I thought, let's just make sure everything in this product is up to par. And actually I was quite shocked, to be honest. I really thought everything I was going to find was going to be great for our skin. So many people are recommending them, doctors are recommending them, they must be great. But actually when I put my chemical formulator hat on and actually investigated each product's ingredients list, there's a reason why they've done certain things, but I wouldn't recommend them for skin of color. So let's start with the first product. So the first one is Anthelios Ultralight Invisible Fluid SPF50. Now, if you look on the ingredients, the third ingredient of this particular product is denatured alcohol. Okay, now denatured alcohol, the reason we use it is as a primary solvent. So because it's the third ingredient here, it's probably at about 10 to 20%. And it's about 5 out of 10 on the irritant scale. The reason why they're using it is because it is a fantastic solvent and it will make your cream less heavy and less greasy. And that's why they've called this ultralight. The problem is denatured alcohol actually strips the skin of its oils. And with time, this actually weakens the skin barrier and you get more transepidermal water loss. And actually, ironically, over time, your skin becomes less able to protect itself from environmental stresses such as UV, which is the reason that we're applying this product in the first place. So over a long period of time, you're likely to get fine lines, loss of elasticity, free radical bonanza takes place in your skin. So what's actually happening here is alcohol hits the skin, harm takes place immediately, there's an inflammatory cascade, and free radicals just go nuts in your skin. Now, free radicals, if you've watched enough of my videos, you will know that they are skincare enemies, like enemy number one. It's like the one thing that you need to prevent and mop up with using antioxidants. So the problem is that even after the alcohol has evaporated, which will happen very quickly, you now have damage that's continuing to take place because of the free radicals in your skin. Now, because I'm a cosmetic formulator, I'm telling you the thought process that happens when you formulate, okay? You look at each ingredient must be good for the skin, and you do a cost-benefit analysis on each ingredient. So you would look at how useful is this ingredient compared to any damage that can take place. And with denatured alcohol, the positives are that you get a much lighter sunblock, which is pandering to the consumer, but you're not really disclosing how bad this ingredient is for your skin, especially if you're now going to go and apply it multiple times a day in UV, and UV's hitting your skin and, you know, just the whole cascade, inflammatory cascade, becomes faster. I've actually made a whole video on sunscreens for children, and I was shocked to see denatured alcohol even in children's sunscreens. So if you've got kids, I highly recommend you watch my the video I made on sunblocks for children, because I didn't even know myself, you know, before I'd actually investigated. I just assumed if it had a bubble writing on it, it was good for my children. And it's only after I'd done the investigation that I realized this is absolutely not the case. So please watch that video and just buy the sunscreens that I've recommended in that video for your kids. In addition, this particular sunscreen, it's a chemical sunscreen anyway. And so I would avoid this if you've got melasma or any inflammation of the skin, any dry skin, acne, because acne is also inflamed skin. It's free fatty acids in the skin that's leading to inflammation, which leads to pigmentation. So, I mean, I'm just generally just not a fan of this product. I don't know, can you tell? Can you tell? I don't like this product. Don't buy it. Okay, so moving on to the next product, which is the Roche Posay Anthelios Anti-Shine Mist SPF50. Okay, so just so you understand the ruling, FDA has not said one way or the other whether aerosol sunscreens are safe for our skin and whether or not they're dangerous. So until we get a ruling on that, I personally would not recommend purchasing any aerosol-based sunscreen. So when you spray it, you're actually inhaling microparticles, which can lead to lung inflammation, irritation, and asthma attacks. In addition, these cans are highly flammable, and you're taking them to a hot country often on holiday. And even after you sprayed it on your skin is now flammable. So if you go near a barbecue or a barbecue spark hits your arm and you've got this flammable liquid, it's just not a good combination. You should also know sunscreen is less effective in a spray format. So the American Academy of Dermatology actually recommends that you use 1 ounce of aerosol sunscreen per application. That means that in one bottle, you're getting 6 applications. That means a bottle a day. It also is a chemical sunscreen, this particular product. It's got avobenzone, homosalate, and oxybenzone. This absorbs into our skin, into our bloodstream, into our urine within 15 minutes of applying it on our skin, and into your breast milk. So definitely if you're breastfeeding, I would not recommend it. In addition, chemical sunscreens are hormone disruptors, especially in children. So a study was done and showed that you can get premature puberty by 1 to 2 months with chemical sunscreens, and that's why I completely avoid this for my children, and I would always give them a physical sunscreen. Don't forget also, because it's a chemical sunscreen, the way a chemical sunscreen works is by a bond that is broken via UV. So now you've got thermal energy on the skin, and also it triggers free radicals in the skin. So these are all things that are just not good for your skin. And then just to top it off, because they must have known that Dr. V is going to make a video on this, they went and added, can you guess? Perfume. What? Why? Why would you do this? I don't know. I mean, perfume is UV unstable, and you certainly wouldn't add it to your sunscreen. I just want to know who's formulating these products. I'd love to sit and have a little chat. Roche Posay, if you want to give me a call, and I'll have a little conversation with your cosmetic formulator to ask these questions, because actually these questions should be asked right at the beginning, and I do feel like you should have a line of fragrance-free, at least, sunscreens. Okay, so moving on to the next product, which is the Roche Posay Anthelios Anti-Shine SPF50. So the positives are here. Positives are that it has no alcohol in it, which I love. It's got no fragrance, and it's not an aerosol. So ding, 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 I'm happy at this point. It is a chemical sunscreen, so I would avoid it still if you've got melasma or any inflammation of the skin or any dermatitis. However, it's not a bad option actually for as far as chemical sunscreens go. If you really want to wear a chemical sunscreen, this is probably the best of the bunch. The next product is actually really shocking. This is Anthelios Dermo Kids SPF50 Aerosol. The FDA have actually issued a warning to say against spray sunscreens for children. I mean, it's literally, they're inhaling these micro ingredients. You're now making your kids' skin flammable, and you're not going to get good coverage. I mean, I don't know about you, but my children do not sit there while I spray them like perfectly. They're wriggling around, they're trying to get into the pool, they don't want to look at mummy, like they just want to get out of my aura. You know, you're not going to get great coverage of these kids. So I just feel like I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they were thinking with this particular product. I don't even think it should have been made. My thing with children is kids don't care if the sunscreen is white. They don't care. The only people who care are women who wear makeup. Children don't care. So I would literally put on the whitest white physical sunscreen I could find. The reason being, white sunscreens are the best because you're not only blocking UV, you're also blocking visible light. So I don't know if you remember back to your chemistry back in the day, but remember white light reflects all visible light. Black absorbs everything else. Why, like, you want your eyeliner to be really jet black, but you want your sunblock to be white. And I would do that on my kids because then I can see where are they white and pasty, and that's perfect. They're covered. And where can I still see their brown skin? Let me go white paste them all up again. So that's really my tip when it comes to children. I mean, definitely don't buy this. It's actually really expensive as well. Go and watch my video on sunscreen for children. Okay, so the next product here is La Roche Posay Anthelios Hydrating Sunscreen SPF50. Again, it's a chemical sunscreen, as with everything, and the 7th ingredient here is denatured alcohol. So again, they're making the same mistake. Remember I told you, a brand will either systematically do the right thing or systematically make the same mistake in every product. It's like, it almost becomes like their blueprint. It becomes their thumbprint, you know. I can actually now look at whole ingredients list and tell you what the brand does, just because they have their own formulas. So with this, for example, with denatured alcohol being in every product, I mean, there are 95% of sunscreens are actually making this mistake because they're trying to make it lightweight. So again, I'd avoid this, and especially would not be reapplying this with UV hitting my face. Moving on to the next product, which is the Anthelios Sun Protective Oil SPF50. So I did look at this and think, oh, this would be quite exciting. It'd be nice to have oil when you're out in the sun, and you know, you just look like a wet seal would be a nice look. But the second ingredient here is isopropyl palmitate, which is 4 out of 10 on the comedogenic scale. So I wouldn't wear this if you've got any acne on your body. The 4th ingredient here is denatured alcohol again, so I'd run in the opposite direction. And then they went and added perfume. Yes, just to top it off, because they knew Dr. V was going to review this video and they just wanted to make sure no one bought it. So I don't know what they were thinking with this particular product. I'm sorry. This one's a no from me. Okay, so moving on to our last product, I actually went and purchased this based on a review from one of my followers who said, oh, guess what? La Roche Posay has a mineral SPF50 sunscreen. So of course, what do you think I went and did? I just went out and bought it immediately. Thing is, when I'm looking at the ingredients level, it says 100% mineral filters, but then I went through it, and the second ingredient here is titanium dioxide. So that's more UVB coverage than UVA. The 4th ingredient here is denatured alcohol. The 5th ingredient here is isopropyl palmitate, which again is comedogenic, and again they went and added perfume. So again, it was just a bit of a disappointment, to be honest. I'm actually really surprised with this company. I'm really surprised with how well this range of sunscreens does. I am noticing, however, that I'll tell you what it is. There's a bit of a gap when it comes to knowledge in skincare. The reason is, when a doctor will recommend something to you, they will be able to tell you, you know, maybe 2 or 3 of the key actives and how they work, but they're not going to be able to tell you about the preservatives, about the solvents, about the stability of the product. They're not going to tell you how ingredients interact with each other. So there's almost this gap of knowledge where the chemical formulator knows how to formulate it, the doctor knows the key ingredients, but there are gaps in knowledge where, you know, wrong products get made. You know, so for example, if I said to a cosmetic formulator to make me a sunscreen, they probably would make me a sunscreen with denatured alcohol. And I never learned at medical school that denatured alcohol was bad for my skin. So then you'd recommend it to everybody. It's only once you learn both disciplines, and that's why I did medicine and I did cosmetic science, because I needed to understand how these ingredients work on the skin in a clinical setting, not just in the lab. Otherwise, you have these gaps in knowledge, and that's basically what we're seeing here. I do hope this channel though is helping you and educating you, and hopefully educating doctors globally on the best products we should also be recommending to our patients, and really understanding those, you know, each ingredient. Is that a good preservative? Should that be in that particular product? So by the time I finish all 1,000 videos, which is my aim, I'm hoping that everyone is just going to be a game when it comes to their skincare. Don't forget to download your free guide for skincare with Skin of Color. It's down in the description box. Please can you like and subscribe and hit the notification bell, because I'm in the comment section for 1 hour at the end of every single video, at the launch of every single video. I do 5 videos a week, so it's really hard for me to go back and respond to comments, you know, a few days ago or a few weeks ago. I do have children, so I do also need to spend a bit of time with them, and that's why I just dedicate that 1 hour to you guys. If there's any videos you want me to make, please can you write it down below for me, and you know I will do it. Thank you very much for watching.